With ITV's F1 team for the Malaysian Grand Prix, the second chapter in the 2001 championship. The futuristic, state-of-the-art Sepang circuit just outside Kuala Lumpur is the venue. Let's join Martin Brundle and, first of all, Murray Walker.
It's an enormously demanding race. You've heard it from a lot of other people, but you're going to hear it from me again. 56 laps of here, and that's going to be over an hour and a half in these sweltering conditions. Now, I was literally dripping with sweat just walking from one side of the track to the other. Martin said, trailing along, coming up to turn 9. Grid order: Schumacher, Barrichello in the white and blue Williams BMW, Ralph Schumacher. There's one of the Benettons coming into line.
They'll have to abort the start. A Benetton completely out of sync there. Who is that down there? It's Fisichella, isn't it? Start aborted. I had this back in the 80s once when somebody else took my grid slot, and Fisichella, sorry, what he's done is he's turned over to his grid slot too late. He's obviously got mixed up. Fisichella will now be put to the back of the field, and I notice it already. The stewards are investigating Jos Verstappen in the arrows. That will be because the mechanics were on the racetrack. And there's the man with the yellow flag in front of Fisichella. So that's his punishment. Everybody else has now got to, and there's a car stalled on the line. And who is that?
It looks like
Montoya.
Marquez in the...
I think it's Montoya.
Oh, you're right, it is Montoya. Montoya's car is seemingly wheeled away to lead the parade round slowly. Schumacher, that is.
Yes, so Montoya then clearly not just a stalling of the engine, there's some other problem with the looks of it. It's surprising they can't get that to go on the line, and they've got to clear it through a gap where all of the mechanics and support crew are still dragging their generators and spare tyres, etc, etc.
3, 4 lights, 5 lights, and it's going, Malaysia. Beautiful start by Michael Schumacher. Rubens Barrichello not so good. Coming up fast is Ralph Schumacher. Behind him is Jarno Trulli cutting through on the inside. Barrichello blocks him off, and Barrichello and up into second place, but now spinning it goes Ralph Schumacher. Is anybody going to hit him? Ralph Schumacher made a terrific start, but he's lost it. Spins the car round again, and coming up behind him, one of the Jaguars. All his terrific work at the start has been completely nullified, and up into third position in the Jordan comes Jarno Trulli, followed by
Coulthard. That was Coulthard. He had an amazing first corner.
8th position.
Yeah, Coulthard managed to sneak past Hakkinen in that first corner while he was watching Ralph spinning out of contention. And who have we got here?
That's
Raikkonen, it looked like to me. I think that was Raikkonen.
It was definitely the Sauber, and it was definitely Raikkonen. Yep. And it's Panis, Olivier Panis, despairingly out of the race. You can see from his body language that he's pretty fed up about something. There is the answer. And Louise Goodman has got news.
Unbelievable drama at the start of this race, Murray, and just to let you know, there may be a bit more to come. I'm standing out at the back of the garages. It's starting to rain.
Well, look at that! Michael Schumacher off, and is he out of the race? He's kept an absolute roar from the crowd. Barrichello goes into the lead. He's off. Amazing. Both the Ferraris off. And Jarno Trulli leads the Malaysian Grand Prix as it starts to the rain. What amazing.
And I haven't seen Coulthard behind him, so did all three of them go off? So yes.
Wet, you think? Wet?
Well, it must be raining. Louise just pointed out. Now Coulthard is there, I'd missed him. And both Ferraris caught out on what must be a slightly damp corner.
One of them third. It must be surely Michael Schumacher who regained the circuit first. We'll know in a moment. We're on lap 3 out of 55 in this incredible race already. As coming towards us from Italy in the Jordan Honda. The Honda engine now leading a Grand Prix for the first time since they've come back into Formula One. And look at the rain pouring down. And when it rains in Malaysia, believe me, it comes down not by the bucketful, but by the ocean full. They're having to slow right off. And here's a replay of Schumacher in the lead and Barrichello behind him.
I believe they went off probably initially on some oil from Panis's blown up BAR Honda. One Ferrari following the other through the gravel traps. That's caused a few heart attacks back in Maranello, but they both just got away with it, and now it's raining hard. They'll have to come in for wets at the end of this lap, I believe.
And you will have seen from that shot that it wasn't Schumacher that regained the track first, it was Barrichello up into third position with Heinz-Harald Frentzen, and in they come for rain tyres, James Allen.
Well, there's some cars coming in, Murray. There, that was the Ferrari team, James.
Blinder here. Benetton have played an absolute blinder. They saw the problem. It's absolutely bucketing it down here. Fisichella got service first. Button got service second. Also one of the Minardis, but astonishingly, nobody else came in.
Safety cars out. Safety cars out. I'm not surprised because look at this. The conditions are impossible.
Two Jaguars line astern in the pits then. So the Jaguars in together. The Ferraris went around one more time. That's not got a lot of groove in that wet they're thinking of putting on there. And you're watching Fisichella, who's out now on wet tyres.
That's Nick Heidfeld sitting in the Sauber, the man who had such a superb race in Australia, finishing in fourth position. Look at his rear wheel spinning. He's beached the car. The ride height in these Formula One cars, the distance between the ground and the bottom of the car is minimal, and he's beached it somewhere, and James Allen has got more news for us.
Well, the $10 million question now, of course, for these teams is who do they bring in first? Who do they serve first? Particularly McLaren. We've got two equal drivers. Who's going to get the tyres first? Is it going to be Häkkinen or Coulthard? From the body language of Ron Dennis, it's going to be Häkkinen, would you believe?
James Trulli is off. Jarno Trulli has gone off the track. You've just seen him. He was the man who was leading the race when the rain started coming down.
Cars off everywhere.
Bernardi's gone off.
I did a scan, Murray, of all of the major teams, and they all thought either no rain or a tiny bit of rain this afternoon, and that's why everybody has been so surprised. No sign. Yeah. We got one Ferrari in the pit then, and Michael Schumacher is having to wait to see Barrichello serviced first. Michael Schumacher is parked up line astern behind the Ferrari of Barrichello.
And there is Montoya well and truly off the track in the Williams. You've seen Rubens Barrichello in the Ferrari there with Michael Schumacher, both of them together. Now they're fitting the Bridgestone Moonsoon tyres, I should think.
Coulthard left the pit first. James, what can you tell us?
Absolutely right. This looks just played perfectly into the hands of McLaren. It's a gift from heaven, and I maligned the McLaren team, and particularly Ron Dennis. He was very clever. He brought Coulthard in. Straight away he was out, and then Häkkinen was coming straight in afterwards. Neither car lost any time in that, and they are in an incredibly strong position. Ferrari on the back foot.
What on earth's going on down at Ferrari, James? They still haven't got any tyres on Barrichello's car. This looks like we had back in Nürburgring a year or so back, where they just do not appear to have any tyres ready.
Well, look at this. This is a powerboat race. It's not a Formula One car race. As out of the pits after 1 minute and 12 seconds goes Rubens Barrichello.
A big pile of gravel, Murray, where Barrichello was parked. So they were cleaning out the side pods, and I assume they're going to have to do the same to Michael Schumacher. The only saving grace here for Ferrari is that under the safety car conditions, they will catch the back of the pack up without too much difficulty.
One of my cliches is anything can happen in Formula One, and it usually does, but I wouldn't have expected this.
The track's dry, look, Murray. The track is bone dry down there at turn 1 and 2. It's only at the other end of the circuit have we got any rain.
Well, now, let me give you from our telemetry here what seems to be the race order at the moment. I say seems to be because all is confusion with so much happening.
That is Trulli going off. He's currently shown as 5th. He obviously escaped out of that gravel trap at some point. Again, it doesn't say replay, but I believe this is and Coulthard off in the background as well.
It's Frentzen. This is this problem It's Trulli.
It is Trulli, but that's a replay.
Yeah.
Coulthard went off in the background, recovered, and came in the pits first. So they were running first and second into the last corner of that lap where it started to rain. It was a replay, and they both went off in the last corner.
David Coulthard the opportunity to sprint away. Verstappen is challenging Frentzen.
Frentzen asleep there, let Coulthard go, and he's got Verstappen then able, not close enough to have a look up the inside, but Coulthard caught them all sleeping, particularly Frentzen.
So a tight match between Trulli and Frentzen, Verstappen and Häkkinen, with Jarno Trulli in the second Jordan closing up on all of them. And Jordan Lacey, where is he? There's a big gap there. There is the Prost, and John Alesi has got Giancarlo Fisichella's Benetton right behind him. I would expect Alesi to be able to pull away, and look at Jos Verstappen swarming all over Heinz-Harald Frenzen's Jordan. This is Jos Verstappen's opportunity. Jos the boss from Holland, and he knows it. He's got the Acer Tech engine in the car, and it's down on power compared with the others, but that won't harm it nearly as much in these wet conditions. And look at the way Ralf Schumacher is harrying Mika Häkkinen as his brother Michael comes up behind him. The battle of the brothers is beginning, and David Coulthard leads by about 3 seconds as Michael Schumacher visibly closes on his brother, and Rubens Barrichello goes past Heinz-Harald Frentzen. So Frentzen, who had a problem, you remember, on the original start when he had to tour around, may have that's Jenson Button in trouble, and he's touring. So Heinz-Harald Frentzen may well have a repetition of whatever the problem was.
Thought it looked like Button was recovering from a spin actually, but Häkkinen then under a lot of pressure from Michael Schumacher. We don't know the fuel loads at the moment. They may have changed. Everybody would have topped up with fuel without doubt while they were putting the wets on, so they should be able to go at least 35 to 40 laps, well into that sort of zone. And Häkkinen having to defend his line, but it's no good. Schumacher's gone right around the outside for the second time in 2 laps of another car. Michael running a little bit wide there, but no problem for him, and Schumacher on the rampage.
And there are people who say that Michael Schumacher is not a superstar. You are seeing the evidence before your very eyes as he drives round the outside of double world champion Mika Häkkinen. Look how close it is between the Ferrari and the McLaren, and the McLaren it's Rubens Barrichello there battling against Mika Häkkinen, and he's going, and he does it. Rubens Barrichello passes Mika Häkkinen just as his teammate Michael Schumacher did, except that Michael Schumacher did it on the outside, Rubens Barrichello did it on the inside, and now Ralf Schumacher is closing up in the Williams BMW on Mika Häkkinen.
The wetter part of the track. Now Michael's got the run up the inside into 9, and it begins to dry up now, so Michael then slicing through into second place easily as it happens, and I'd be absolutely sure he's on the intermediates just by the way he's driving around the outside of people in these kind of corners where it's a little bit drier. Coulthard will be the next victim in a very short amount of time, I would imagine.
Michael Schumacher dives out from behind his wing, gets through on the inside. No, as they come up to the left-hander, turn 15 at the end of the lap. This is the end of lap 15 in this 55-lap race. 40 laps still to go, and a lot of drama still to come. And now Michael Schumacher goes for it as they come down to turn 1, and then the left-hander at turn 2 and through.
Yeah, you can see the pattern on the tyres. Schumacher on different tyres, no doubt about it. It's clear to see from the pattern along the top, and of course the speed through these dry corners.
Now there is Barrichello surging past Jos Verstappen, another manifestation of the fact that they are undoubtedly the 2 Ferraris on the right Bridgestone tyres.
And that's why Barrichello can simply drive right past him. He gets a lot more bite out of the corners and just builds up speed so much faster than the wet shod car of David Coulthard.
There's a lot of Ferrari fans here, just as there are at all the racing circuits. They're standing up now, the flags are waving, you saw one in the foreground there.
Coulthard surely will pit at the end of the lap 2, and well, they're intermediates they put on the Minardi, so they're not going to gamble on slicks. And Coulthard then coming down the final straight into turn 15. Will he take to the pit lane, or will he go for one more lap? And he's going for another lap.
Yeah, he's going on running very wide. That was Fernando Alonso, incidentally, in the Minardi, running 15th at the present moment. Last, but there's 7 people out of this race.
Well, here's the answer then. Look, Häkkinen, albeit in that first drier section, has just done the fastest T1 of the whole race so far, of section 1. So Häkkinen already found grip in those first 4 corners, but as we know, it's the next section, 7 through 9, that is more wet, and I'll keep a close eye on that. And still, he's not too bad. So the slicks are not quite ready in the middle of the track yet, but anytime soon.
So Michael Schumacher 149.8, and he can afford to stay out. He's got, compared with Häkkinen, he's over a minute ahead of him. He's 10 seconds ahead of Barrichello. He's 25 seconds and more ahead of David Coulthard.
I wonder if he, well, of course, remember he went off after he changed tyres last time, trying to catch the pace car up. He's been off once again since his initial spill in tandem with Michael Schumacher earlier in the race.
Yeah, for some reason they were expecting a lot of debris here anyway. I know the BARs have got special wire mesh guards that they can rip out at the pit stop to clean out the side pods. Now they've got longer side pods this year, so the radiators are further back, and it's very difficult for the mechanics to reach into the side pods and get debris away from the radiators. And if there's debris there, it's going to be affecting the cooling of the engine. It will overheat and they'll be in problems. James Allen.
Yeah, still some communication problems here for McLaren. I think they're going to try and fuel to the finish. Well, he was away very sharply then. Yeah, maybe not fuel to the finish there actually. He was away very sharply. Nearly took the hose out, 8.8 seconds. But still some communication problems there, Martin. And this is interesting for you. Those tyres were out of that blanket for well over 2 minutes. And the temperature has really dropped here. Is that going to hurt him?
It'll make it a bit tricky for 3 or 4 corners, as he'll certainly understeer into turn 1 here. But did he get back out in front of Barrichello? No, he did not. So Coulthard will rejoin. He is now 3rd place. So Ferraris 1 and 2 then. Coulthard back down to 3rd.
Hakkinen challenges Mitsukani, goes through on the inside, and Button is right with the McLaren as well. Now these 4 cars are on 2 different laps, but it's a great race.
It is, isn't it? And Hakkinen really getting terribly badly balked there by Matsukani. Matsukani finally getting out of the way, and Jenson Button saying thank you very much. I'll have a little bit of that. So Button moving through then up into 14th place.
On lap 28, Schumacher leading Barrichello by an incredible 64 seconds now. And the fastest lap we have in this race is Michael Schumacher, 1 minute 41. So he's about 2/3 of a lap ahead of the man in 2nd place, his teammate in the Ferrari. David Coulthard, 18 seconds behind Barrichello.
Michael Schumacher, race leader by some 67 seconds, James.
As I said it, Martin, lap 30, bought himself 6 laps with that safety car period. They're putting the slicks on. What they've been trying to do is push it towards the one-stop fuel window. And as you can see now, all this fuel going in. Yes, he's fueled through to the finish. 12.8, he's fueled through to the finish, and Coulthard is not. Coulthard, I believe, will have to stop again.
And you saw the mechanics reach deep into the side pods to clear any debris out of them.
I'm not sure Coulthard will stop again, James. If he started the race with a lot of fuel on board, he wouldn't need to stop any longer. Even if he stopped early, he wouldn't need to refuel for much longer than Michael Schumacher, but we'll have to wait and see on that one. But Schumacher clearly then will retain his lead. He had 67 seconds when he came in. He's going to lose about 27, 28 of that, so he'll still be in the lead by over half a minute. And that's a wet tyre tread that's just fallen apart. So somebody, we just saw the tail end of that car going in the pit lane, somebody that's down the final straight, and it is
one of the Minardis.
It is a Minardi, yes, has stayed out too long. Stayed out too long, Murray, on those wets, and thrown a tread basically. So Verstappen then creating a little bit of a traffic jam behind him.
If they've got they just haven't got. Now.
That was a very late attempt there from Ralph, and Verstappen will be doing well if he can. There's no space for him there, so Ralph really a brave one and left Jos Verstappen to avoid an accident.
Who stays ahead of Mika Hakkinen, so Ralf Schumacher moves up into that place held by Jos Verstappen, up into 4th place. But Jos Verstappen still very much in the points, now with Mika Hakkinen breathing down his exhaust pipe, and Heinz-Harald Frentzen doing the same to the Finn, Mika Hakkinen. Look at that yellow Jordan as they come round the right-hander. He's having a go at Mika Hakkinen.
I don't think there's enough braking zone into 4, and no, he can't make it in there, but Hakkinen clearly getting out of shape in turn 2 and giving Verstappen a bit of breathing space in the arrows, and Frentzen a look at him. But anyway, Hakkinen manages to keep what currently is 6th place.
Now the bung has been pulled out for Ralf Schumacher. He's got a clear track ahead of him. We're going to see the power of that BMW engine. We're going to see the way the Michelin tyres hang on. We're going to see the way that superb Williams chassis handles the going here at Sepang, because the gap is ever increasing.
Because Ralf Schumacher, I believe, looking out of the pit, and he's through. Sorry, he's through in 13.
And Verstappen doesn't give in. He tries to go through on the inside. He's trying again. Jos Verstappen is a fighter every inch of the way. Mika Häkkinen got past him. Jos Verstappen has refused to give way and refuses still to give way. Runs wide. And Frentzen goes through on the inside. He's going to take both of them. No, he isn't. He takes Häkkinen. Häkkinen, far from gaining a place, has lost one. And Frentzen now is going to have a go at Jos Verstappen. Wow!
Yeah, so Häkkinen then so deep into 13 and 14, clearly lost momentum on the exit. Jos said, right, I'm going to have another go at you, and stuck with it. And this is Ralf Schumacher. That's why he was so fast. He was low on fuel, but still extremely quick laps there from Ralf. But that'll take the pressure off of Coulthard. But he's still a half a minute behind the Ferraris up front, and Verstappen then hanging on to 5th place. Great drive from him today.
Yeah. With Mika Häkkinen 7th ahead of him, and the gap between Verstappen and Häkkinen was about 10 seconds, so Verstappen is going to lose positions and he's going to have a struggle to be finishing in the points. Very tough one.
Be careful if you're taking rip-offs off your visor doing slow speed. That's when they get sucked into your own radiator scoops or your own brake ducts or something. They're much better ripped off at high speed, making sure then that they go straight out. And that's a good stop from the Arrows boys, just 7 seconds. Clearly he's only got to have fuel for a further 12 laps, but a very, very good run there. And Häkkinen has now just set a new fastest lap of the race on your screen now, significantly faster than anything he's done up until now, so clearly enjoying a change of tyres.
Bit of heavy oversteer from the Williams there as the back stepped out, as Ralf Schumacher straightened it up out of turn 15 and went into the straight. They're on their 52nd lap now. 3 laps to go at the end of this one. The 2 Ferraris still way out in front. David Coulthard is not making any impression on them from 3rd position. Heinz-Harald Frentzen in the Jordan is still in 4th place. This is the battle on the circuit, and what a battle!
And Coulthard is slowing down now, so obviously no sign of the McLaren mechanics in the pit lane. Coulthard now knocking his pace off. He knows he now can't catch Barrichello or Schumacher in front of him, and definitely in a fuel conservation mode. He's got 16 seconds back to Heinz-Harald Frentzen, but Häkkinen then still in 6th place, Ralf Schumacher 5th.
Now, the one question in my mind is Matt Saccani going to get in the way of Ralf Schumacher and Mika Häkkinen as they close up on the Argentine driver in the frost to lap him again? He's been lapped twice already.
Now, one of Häkkinen's favourite overtaking plays, he's not quite close enough, is into this next, turn 13. He's not close enough on this occasion, but he pulled a couple of nice strokes there last year and earlier on today too, but still look, he moves out of the slipstream. He doesn't want to go on that wet patch and cool his tyres down, but he's just losing the toe then.
Yeah, so turn 15, last corner of this lap.
Interestingly, the Williams have got better traction, hasn't it? Although he's always going to be on the throttle pedal at least a car length ahead when he's in front. But it does appear that the Williams has got better traction than the McLaren.
It's not who's going to win, Michael Schumacher. It's not who's going to be second, Rubens Barrichello. It's not who is going to be third, David Coulthard. It's not even who is going to be fourth, Heinz-Harald Frentzen, as Michael Schumacher wins in Malaysia. The question is, who is going to be fifth? Is it going to be Ralf Schumacher or Mika Häkkinen?
Yes, so 6 wins then, Murray, for Michael Schumacher. 6 consecutive poles, 6 consecutive wins. That's only beaten by the great Fangio, isn't it? For 9,
yep.
Ascari, sorry, for
Ascari,
9,
yep.
for 9 consecutive wins. Coulthard goes over the line for yet another podium. The same 3 men on the podium, slightly different positions, and Ralf Schumacher, and only 3.8 seconds behind Frentzen. Look, Ralf Schumacher is going to keep Frentzen 4th, Ralf Schumacher 5th, Häkkinen final point in 6th.
What an incident filled, what an eventful Malaysian Grand Prix. They were worried here that they wouldn't get a very impressive attendance, but in the end they've got one. Thousands and thousands of people from overseas and the home country Malaysia have come to see a truly thrilling and exciting race after one of the most exciting qualifying sessions I've seen for a very long time.
Petronas Grand Prix Museum 2021. Ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of the organisers, the SIC, and also the Brazil, I'd like to say thanks for having joined us today, and we hope to see you again soon in the next Grand Prix.